Hello, welcome to Liver Slowly Temperance. Today I'm doing a love read for the collective. I recorded a reading just before this and there was no volume. I'm hoping this doesn't happen again. I tested the microphone and everything, and it was a 30-minute reading. So it was an excellent reading, actually. And to me, the energy of the reading is someone who doesn't want to accept the last stage of grief in a connection, meaning acceptance in this stage of acceptance. They want to stay entangled. So the reading was more about entanglement. I think I shuffled. Oh, yeah. So the last cards that came out was this guy. Let me see. And I shuffled. I shuffled. So it's still in the bottom. Oh, and this. So the last cards and message of that reading was basically triggered. This person is addicted. Addicted. Release your addictions to this person. And triggers of this person is the lesson here is emotional baggage is running the show. And so retrain the internal so the external can change. And that's exactly is the stage of grief. You have to retrain the internal when the internal, the soul, the spirit, the ego doesn't want to accept the external. Nobody can move on. Nothing can change. External can change. You have to release it so the external can change. So therefore, the emotional baggage will continue to run the show, and it's running everyone's life. No one can move on, no one can progress. Now the energy also was that I'm getting whoever's the viewer is moved on. Some of you, it's your person. The energy I got was your person's ex. So I don't know if the reading is going to be the same, but let's see what spirit has for us. And it could be, it was really interesting, a whole 30 minutes and nothing, no volume. All right, so what else, Spirit? Let's get these energies again. Let's try this again with the collective. What's important for them to know? Okay, so what do we have? Oh, very soon was one of the cards that came out. So clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you. We have free yourself. There goes the new love. And then calling in your soulmate. Okay, I am loving the shift. You have flirt. This could be the one. So this is exactly what I'm thinking. The energies that I got for the last read was this frequency change where there is a new connection. You're freeing yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. There is a new connection and calling in your soulmate. This is about positive energy around it. So this is a good shift. I think this is exactly if I would have made up it was only a 30-minute read, but if I would have committed to an hour read, I feel this is exactly where the energy would have shifted. So maybe the first part was for me to pick up on the energy, but also to lead you to where you need to be. And I think this part, because the other reading was this slow moving energy that felt like, oh my, we are on the crossing line of this, but it's so slow and it's been a long ride. And that's what I really picked up on it, just how slow it has been. So let's see what we've got, Spirit. What else do we have for the collective? Oh, this came out too. Awareness. This was the main energy. Now, what I will say with this is you do have awareness to what's going on. There's a strong energy of your awareness to what's going on. Also, manifestation. Um, there was a mirror energy with this past energy. Here goes the discontent and boredom. This is Four of Cups in this deck. And I do feel this is the slowness, but also the past energy of not wanting to change. Give me more. And now the sun and the heart chakra. I love this energy I've just shifted to. So maybe that reading was to show me where this is going and to show you that there is light and the change is coming. There is chariot energy. I feel reverse and upright. I don't have to do reversals because my energy, if you're new to my channel, I normally just feel the cards and the story tells itself. And I can tell when the card feels reversed or upright or both just by the reading and the energies that the reading carries. And in this case, this triumph feels like both. So this triumph was the slowness of the progression, but it's on its way because again, you have the light, the heart chakra. You're freeing yourself. You have new love, and then there's manifestation energy of like your prayers and affirmations and visualizations help bring you together. Meaning, whatever, if this was your person and their ex was clinging, your energy and the energy with your person needs to be firm. Like, do things that nurture the relationship while all of this noise is happening on the background, because progress is here. But I do understand it was a slow moving energy. All right, so let's get some clarifiers here. All right, getting more of this awareness. Okay, so Ace of Swords in the bottom. Of course, here we go with the Three of Swords. There's the King of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. And I feel, this ending is here. Now, the energy I got was, again, for some of you, it's a divorce. But there's an end here, a transition, and you're aware. And someone has Three of Swords energy resistance to this change, but then there's also a moving forward. King of Pentacles, this is a husband, someone who was a partner, a lifelong partner, a committed relationship, long term, children involved, right? There was kids, a family. And this is ending. I think a lot of you know, again, if you're waiting on a divorce, this is coming through. Again, I feel it's been a long ride. And I'm going to clarify that with this deck. I'm going to clarify that Three of Swords because it just feels like the long ride. More this Three of Swords. Yeah, Hermit with the Ten of Swords. So it's been a place of really challenging. Not the Hermit energy to me is such a deep place with the soul, and it's a long journey. It feels like you've just kind of been quiet, waiting, but gaining a lot of understanding with this deck. Manifestation energy, magician energy, but the card itself is called awareness. And this is an end. And there goes the Nine of Swords. I feel that's the mirror energy of your counterpart X, who just has a resistance to this ending, which comes from this discontent and boredom. So give me more of this Four of Cups. I have discontent and boredom energy. Now we have the Five of Wands, Justice. Okay, guys, this is definitely a repeat. Justice was one of the major arcanas from it. Came out from this deck and it came out from this deck. It came out twice. And like I said, for some of you, it's a divorce. So this person is having a hard time for this final stage of closure of this past energy. Someone's resistance. And again, I got so detailed with that reading, and I'm going to do it with this reading again, and I'm hoping they records, but I honestly feel like it not having my voice shows how much resistance there is for this. This person doesn't even look at that. I have dark attachment in the bottom. It's how much this person is so resistant of this change, and just even like not hearing it is part of it. It's like I don't want to hear it. It's like all I feel is a person like I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know if it's not said out loud, it's not ending. It's kind of that energy. Give me more on. I'm going to clarify this Queen of Swords. Give her this Queen of Swords. This person, like I showed you the deck, this person has an addictive pattern. There goes the loyalty, which is that King of Pentacles, right? This is a person who's loyal. And guess what? Look at that spiritual connection. So dedication, trust, reliability. Queen of Swords is clarified by only you and the running. So only you, fixated, attached, hypnotized, ghosting, disappearing, invisible. So this person is not ready to release this. It's a fixated energy. Okay, more on this justice. Yeah, there you go. The energies are back because this card came out: drifting, slow parting, disconnected, detaching. And this card came in the other reading with the energy of the masculine energy from this deck, an actual male counterpart. And the disconnecting of this past marriage karma, a cycle, it's closing, and this resistance to it, right? We have distance, right? Barrier, separation, space, resistance to this. Masculine energy is ready to release, feminine energy is not ready to release. There's a resistance. Four of cups, we're clarifying. We got the temperance energy in the last read as well, and the energy I picked up with this temperance was both in this deck, right? Things taking a long time, but it also being a volatile emotional cycle. There you go: tension and turbulence. So let's get more on this temperance. Temperance, spiritual connection. There goes that masculine energy. There you go. So I honestly feel this is both. This the masculine energy, right? Distancing themselves, the drifting, right? That's why I said the drifting was the more of the masculine, but the feminine energy still believes in the spiritual connection. The attachment is volatile. So I want to, basically, the energy I'm hearing is I want to stay in your life whether it's toxic. I don't care as long as I'm there. It's this weird belief, right? Fixated that it's meant to be that way. And I'm going to clarify this masculine energy because the masculine energy is just ready for it to end. It's logical. It's a strong energy. It's just like, this has been dragging too long. We all need to move forward. Yep, Three of Wands. There you go. Masculine energy understands we need to move forward. Like, we all have things that could be positive in our lives, right? But masculine is wise enough to understand that we just need to move forward. The spiritual connection is from this addictive pattern, right? This only you, this fixated energy. Give me more on only you. Ace of Swords, and this is a desire for any beginning. And yep, there you go, the World. This person, to come out of an Ace of Swords energy, to start from an Ace of Swords, it's a trying time in a relationship, because remember, the energy, you have to get through the Ten of Swords to get back to the Ace of Swords with the sword cycles. And so this person knows it was trying, but they feel that, well, as trying as it was, we can still start over. Let's see, I'm going to pull this World energy with this deck. This World. Contemplation. Redemption is peeking out. So it is kind of a start over, right? Want to redeem. Ignore the World. This belief that they can redeem. Here goes the emotional distance with cold. And there goes, triggered. And I showed you guys triggered with the other card, this deck. Did I keep it on top? I'll shuffle again later, just to not keep it. But yeah, triggered came out in the other reading, which is, again, this triggered is emotional baggage is running the show. Retrain the internal, which is the stages of grief. And the last stage of grief is acceptance. So retrain the internal so the external can change, so everyone can move on. And so this contemplation of having to release and have this distance is it's very difficult for this person. But let's look at this sun energy, because it's good. Right? The sun is here. Give me more of this light. Perfect. I love that, because we have sun and sun. And wow, there goes that devil. So I think you guys know that this person, it's time to take back control of your life. This person just doesn't know how to emotional release. They want to stay in this pattern, but you have to help you and your person, whether it's you or your ex, the ex of your person, you have to release and continue to move forward because eventually this person has to finalize the stage of grief and move on. This is over, right? And so finding that light, and remember the sun with the moon, yeah. And again, masculine energy, hanged man, waiting. So this masculine energy, and for some of you, again, it's your person. So if you're feminine, it's your ex, is your person's ex, is having a hard time moving on. There's clarity on all the hidden agendas, the moon energy of this person, but also an understanding that we can sit in this hidden agenda that this person has, because this is a person who will create anything, right, to keep you in this cycle, the world. Their only goal is to stay in the cycle. But this moon needs to be released. Give me more on this moon. Yeah, depth. Hello, how deep can we get? Could this not be exactly what the moon means? Depth. This what I'm explaining and what that other reading was, it was so much depth. I'm so sad it didn't record, but I think we're here to explain the moving forward. So I think it just come with more of an emotional connection to the reading, and energetically, right? Uh, clairsentient, right? Energy, not that I'm emotionally connected, but meaning I picked up so much on my clairsentience from the other reading of how emotionally attached, and this process of trying to release us has really impacted. So the depth of this with the moon is complexity, awareness, importance. And so the complex, it truly is the complex of grief, right? This person is pretending, mask, exaggeration, bluff. They've exaggerated their emotions. They're I explained about divorce. If this was divorce, men are logical. Men don't, these are legal fees that you're spending on these divorces. They're expensive. Now, if you have assets with your person, numbers are numbers. What gets complicated is all the emotions behind the numbers. And I say this as a person of numbers. I've been a director of finance for companies for over 20 years. That's easy. The easy part is the numbers. The hard part is the emotions behind the numbers. And so in this case, the masculine is extremely logical because at the end of the day, who's being burned here is the masculine, whoever's a higher paying earner. Um, and so there's clearly a logical, because it's like, well, the more money I lose or the more money we put into the divorce, the less is for the children. The feminine here doesn't think about the children, is only thinking about the emotional, the triggers, the emotions, the I want him, I regret, the regret, accepting that it's over. It's all of that energy, this attachment of this moon energy, the depths of the complexity to be able to move forward, and it's this inability to. So this energy to me, definitely with the sun twice, shows a lot of the clarity that this mind game is going to continue to exist, but you're going to have to free yourself and manifest good energy. Eventually this person has to accept, clearly, is the biggest message here. Give me more on this moon. Confusion. Yeah, there goes more moon energy. There goes the moon. Puzzled, unsettled, unclear. The depths, and there goes, I knew it. This is a repeat. These two cards came out. This is a battle. There's a masculine and feminine energy. This is a divorce. This is a person who is having a hard time releasing. They're confused. They're in this state, not willing to let go. And so you guys don't think I'm biased, because this is so crazy to me. I can literally prove this. Give more of this feminine energy. King of Swords energy, right? Holding this, and I don't have to do it. It's narcissistic to a certain extent, is this inability for control, um, control of decisions, control of how fast or slow this moves. There's death energy, right? Again, the unwillingness for something to end. Give me more of this feminine energy. Page of Wands and a Page of Pentacles. Again, control of communication, control of news, control of agreements. Give me more of this feminine energy. More on the Ace of Swords. We just saw the Ace of Swords here, right? A trying beginning we talked about, right? The world, where it's again confirming, like I said, I told you this was the feminine energy, and here it goes with the feminine energy. Five of Swords. This unwillingness to release. I need a win. So it could become, it doesn't matter, the control is there. I could win this over, Five of Swords, and resist the beginning that you can get, or I can ruin you and still impact the beginning you get. You know, there's a very, remember this feminine energy. Ten of Swords. I can't make this up. Ten of Swords, Ten of Wands. This is very heavy. I could prove this. And like I said, the last time I said I could have made that reading an hour long and I still would have arrived where I'm at right now with the deck. You want me to show you? I can show you here with this masculine energy. Do you remember this masculine energy? Masculine energy wants to move forward. Do you remember this masculine energy? They want to be done. Exactly. Strength. They're tired of the control tactics and they want their new beginning. They want to be with their new love. That's it. This is something when you arrive, it's been a years. This feels like slow courage. This they're willing to for like really it's okay. They don't understand, you know, the resistance. It's time to move forward. Right? Slow moving here. Knight of Pentacles. It's slow. Slow energy. Give me more of this masculine energy. There you go. The Fool. They're ready to go. They're ready to move forward. Feminine here is resistance, right? Is resistance to this change. Not wanting the tens. The tens is here. They know the 10 is here, but they have control of the 10. They have control of how fast or slow this is going to go. I'm going to pull from here. Give me more of this feminine energy. Friendship. Boundaries. And there you go. Communication, temptation, and secret admirer. And this is the secret admirer is resistance, right? Suppression. So they want to talk. There's a lot about communication, temptation, boundaries. And I'm sure there's an energy of boundaries here. At this point, there's no communication happening. It's like this desire to get things back in some level of order. And it really is like a fantasy, I think. It feels like a fantasy. What makes them think that they could bring some level of um like after all the hardship that this could even be a friendship, right? Here more of this friendship. Seven of Swords. And there you go. There's no way. There was so much wrongdoing and sneaky behavior. That's why the masculine has the boundary. They know this. There's no there, and the fact that there's illusion behind this, right? There goes the five. It's a winning. It's just how can I get back control through this communication? And when it's communication, Six of Cups. That's the past energy, right? They think they could rekindle or somehow get things going, and there's some healing, and masculine is moving on. All right, we have one more deck here, one more card, clarifying to do. It's heart chakra. Camera is heart chakra. This came out as Four of Pentacles. So again, this is the healing of the heart. The internal needs to heal. Someone is holding on with the Four of Pentacles and the heart, King of Cups. The emotions run deep. Right now, we saw the depth card here, the complexity, the moon, and the resistance. Again, the grief. Heart chakra is not willing to accept the final stage of grief. Give me more of this Four of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles with the Five of Swords. No, they sit in this ego, winning, and rejection energy. Impossible. There's a fight. There goes a death. Not ready to let go. Give me more of this Four of Pentacles energy. Yep, and there goes the infatuation. This is an obsession. Give me more of this Four of Pentacles energy. This is a holding on, better off, happiness, perspective, clear space. They think this is perspective, right? The loss, grief. There you go. Grief, sorrow, and pain. So the fantasy of the illusion with this infatuation about this possibility. But I want to come in now and focus on this new love and calling in your soulmate, because there is a lot of noise around this. And I think the real issue here is, how do we get out of this emotional loop? Because that's what it feels like. It feels like an emotional loop and a willingness to stay entangled with any ounce of excuse. And this is in order for something to be this entangled is because children exist. Because there's no hold on a person, when there's no children. You just walk away, change your number, change your emails, block. That's it. Give me more of this new love. So let's see what guidance around this new love. Give me more of this new love, Spirit. Eight of Pentacles, beautiful. Knight of Cups and Eight of Cups. Move on. Yep, Nine of Wands. It's a waiting game. You know why it's a waiting game with the Nine of Wands? It's because she's holding on to the 10, right? The masculine in this case wants to get to this 10. She knows she is in control of the 10. So here he is waiting. But as you guys wait, because the 10 has to arrive at some point, it really sucks how the justice system works here, because to me, doing business, it just, you see the crap with legal fees in a company. It's all gibberish, you guys, honestly. And the legal system will be part of it's a legal way to harass somebody. When it comes to divorce, it's definitely a legal way to harass people. And so this has been a long-standing trial tribulations, Nine of Wands process. But there's this energy of fine, Knight of Cups. Don't lose the energy of dreaming. Try to emotionally distance yourself from this. Work on it. It's something you have to work on. Eight of Pentacles, effort of not losing this Knight of Cups gives me this energy of like hope. In a journey like this, it's manifestation. Keep things fresh. Try to find some play, and do things that can get you through this slow process. Here is Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, King of Wands. And keep it moving, right? Find fun, fire, passion still along all this. I think you have someone who's mutual. It's something you guys can work through together. The end will come, yeah, and Six of Swords is here. So things will get to that place, but it does feel like a long journey. So what was the triggers here? Let's see what the toxic triggers were. What's the toxic triggers? We saw that addiction came out from this deck. So let's see what's going to come up now. What's the toxic triggers? Yeah, there you go. Toxic itself. There you go. The toxic triggers are toxic. This is no good for you. And can't breathe, anxiety and depression. And that's what I'm saying. You're dealing with someone's anxiety and depression, and they can do this every day, all day. They can stay in this cycle um, every day, all day, because that's all they know what to do. They only know how to be, and this is the toxic trigger to this. What's the lesson here? What is the soul lesson? What's the slow lesson? I love it when spirit speaks to me. What have I been talking about, you guys? Acceptance. Acceptance is the last stage of grief. And accepting yourself and others as they are liberates patterns of resistance open to flow. And again, there is resistance. There's the final acceptance. So, in order to, because this is the lesson, and then in the bottom of the deck, we do have deception. I want to point that out. Someone is not being honest or is withholding information. And again, they're withholding information. They think they're withholding, but this energetically, this is what's happening, that this person is clearly just doesn't want to get to this final stage of acceptance. But like I said, you could sit here all day with them because that's what they can do. They can literally sit here all day and however many years. But keep moving forward in your relationship as long as this journey has been. What a wasteful, I know this feels wasteful of emotions. It's so wasteful of time because time is valuable, which is why Spirit is saying, with your new love, just try to use your time, right? This is the Eight of Pentacles energy. Use your time, as this stage will have to come no matter what. Eight of Cups. There's no avoiding it. Eventually, it's got to settle. The only tricky part, I'm sensing this energy, this message I'm about to say is very specific for those of you who are in divorce. It almost feels like this slowness is going to go as they can see. The legal system, right? The lawyers, the mediators can see right through the BS. But the problem is that they, honestly, I don't think they have intent to. And this is how women can power and have authority over masculine energy, men in these cases, because they know that there's a hidden manipulation, covert manipulation tactic that the justice system knows, that in order to squeeze money out of any divorce is by catering to the feminine energy who isn't willing to move on, right? Acceptance. As long as we keep her here, we're all going to make money. Everything's a business. Which is why I just, again, like I've been doing businesses for companies for years. Everything's a business. And your children is generating revenue for the court system. So they love women like this who can give their children to the state so they can just make money out of it. And as long as mom is in this state of toxicity and willing to create narratives and stick to this agenda, nothing will end. It'll take a long time. They'll squeeze as much money out of it. But you know who loses on all this? The children. There's no college fund, or if you don't want to take them to college, there's no money to help them for a future house. There's no, money to buy a new car for them in the future when it's time to drive. Just what is robbed from them is the sad part about all that. But Spirit is guiding for a move forward here with the Eight of Cups. And I'm going to clarify this Eight of Cups real quick. You know, this Eight of Cups. Yeah, be happy. While you wait, Four of Swords, Ten of Cups, just go be happy. There's eventually they have to desire happiness for themselves. That this stage of grief, right? Obviously, look at that, out of rejection, but yet still holding on hope. So living your life could, I know this sounds so annoying to feel. It's not your responsibility, but it's almost like this is a stubborn person who takes a long time to see things so they can move forward themselves. Eventually, they're going to have to want happiness at some point, for themselves. They're just going to have to do it. That's it. Uh, this is it, guys. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next read. Bye.